Hey guys, today's video is an anti-haul. I haven't done this in a while. I've been really busy with my main channel, so second channel videos have been slightly lacking this week. I think I only posted one and we're on... almost kicked my iPad off the bed. That was scary. Yeah, it's Saturday. I think I only posted one video, but that's fine. We'll do it. Subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. It really helps push the videos out, and let's just get into it. So I'll scooch over just so you guys can see the pictures. So Colourpop released this unannounced. You know, sometimes Colourpop have collections that they announce, hype up, do the whole thing, and some collections they're just like, buy it. So this was one of those buy it collections, and I think it's really boring, really not that fun. I feel like the Lust for Dusk palette is just not something that I would personally need in my collection. I think it's just really boring. High Tide is fine. It's a turquoise palette if that's something that you're missing in your Colourpop collection. Like, for example, I have most of the rainbow ones, but like at this point, do I need a turquoise one? Like, I already have the Animal Crossing one, and that was kind of turquoise. And that was a quad, which is just much better than a 9-pan at this point. So if I already have it in a quad, I'm not going to buy it in a 9-pan. And then they have the Fine Feathered, which is like a maroony type shade. And like I have, you know, the wine one, wine and only. I have some red ones, I have some pink ones. Like I'm sure I can find this look somewhere in my collection. So I'm just skipping over it. Obviously, I forgot to mention, I've been on a no buy all month, and I'm still on a no buy. I still haven't bought anything, and you guys didn't believe in me in the comment section. You guys were like, I'm sorry, but like, we don't really believe you. Like, yeah, you're saying you're not going to buy any makeup, but like, we know your past, and we just don't believe you. So until you prove it, we're not going to believe you. This anti-haul is everything I'm not buying because I'm on a no buy, but I'm just justifying things in the sense of like, you know, if I was allowed to buy stuff, I still wouldn't get it. But because I'm not buying stuff, here's my justification for why I wouldn't get it. But I'm on a no buy. If you're seeing any get ready with me's with new makeup, first impressions, or anything like that, those are all pre-filmed in May. I did a lot of filming in May towards the end, and then I was just slowly editing them and then posting them. So if you see anything that would look like or insinuate that I'm buying makeup, then it's pre-filmed. Or it's just makeup that I bought ages ago and then trying now. So Mitchell, I have something on my nose like a piece of fluff, and it's really irritating me. Mitchell, his brand has released these like blush, that's how you pronounce it. It's like blush, but with an R, blush. And they were basically liquid blushes, but now he's released liquid bronzers, but he still called them a blush. Shouldn't it be a bronzer? I don't know. It's got a really good shade range from really fair to quite deep. So I really like the shade range. I heard the formula is quite nice. I don't understand the naming of it, but I also don't need it. I'm wearing a cream bronzer today. It's the Milk Stick bronzer. I have the Fenty cream bronzer. I have the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. I have the Huda Tantour. I think that's it for my liquid / cream product. I do not need another one. So here's my justification for the no buying situation. Then we have Luna Beauty releasing the Life's a Drag facelift palette. This is just simply something I don't need at all in any capacity. On the left we have a basic kind of glam look with some matte shades. The middle row is just 3 shimmer shades that you can kind of, you know, use on both sides. And on the right side you have basically a rainbow, yellow, orange, pink, purple, yada yada yada. I don't need this. I have the left side, I also have the right side. I have the shimmers in the middle. I don't need this palette, but if you are a fan of the Life's a Drag palette, then this might be a nice upgrade for you with some newer formulas, newer shades, newer vibe. Because I know some people were kind of critical of the first palette. But yeah, simply just not something I need. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It looks quite nice. It's updated. I think it's a little bit more interesting than the first Life's a Drag palette. Then we have Spectrum. They're releasing these like multi-use balmy things. You can use them on your cheeks, lips, etc. They're also releasing a hydrating, illuminating primer. Now, once again, I also don't need cream / liquid blushes. I recently went through my whole collection, decluttered some more. I know you guys really want me to film declutters. That's just simply not something I'm going to do. Declutters are like a little therapy session for me, where it's just like me, myself, and my makeup, just enjoying ourselves. I don't need to like justify what I'm keeping, what I'm letting go of. I don't really think about it. I'm just like, does this bring me joy? No. And I throw it away. Like, that video would be really boring. And also, don't do them all at once. I do them sporadically. So I'll just wake up one Sunday morning and I'm like, oh, time to get rid of 5 blushes right now, ASAP. Pick 5, get rid of them. So a declutter is just not the kind of content that I am suited for with my lifestyle. I feel like a lot of YouTubers do wait and then film a whole declutter video, declutter stuff. I also feel like the whole concept of declutters can be a little bit toxic sometimes, because it's this idea of having to get rid of something and having to justify it in the sense of like, sometimes things just make me happy even if I'm not using them. And sometimes I really enjoy a product, but because I'm not using it, I just need to get rid of it, need to let it go. Sometimes I feel like the whole justifying why you're keeping, why you're letting go of stuff can be a little taxing, can be just a little bit confusing, difficult. But also I feel like a lot of people are pressured into doing declutters because they buy so much makeup that they're pressured to then get rid of stuff in their videos. But also I find sometimes people get hate for not decluttering enough. Like I've watched videos before where someone, you know, didn't declutter enough. Like they had 50 blushes, they only got rid of like 5, and people are like, oh, why didn't you get rid of half of them? That is not enough. And I'm like, well, they did spend their hard-earned money on the blush. Like if they don't want to get rid of any of them, they don't really have to. They can just get rid of like 1. And that's already progress. And I just feel like the whole idea of declutters can be a little bit like you're forcing yourself to get rid of stuff that you normally probably would have kept. I feel like I've watched some people do declutters and then mention later on that they rebought the product that they got rid of because they actually turned out that they really liked it and that they actually missed it in their collection, but they felt the pressure of having to get rid of it. So declutters, not for me. I'm not filming it on my channel. It's just something I do for my own mental sanity. I just like to sometimes sit down, put on some like Netflix TV show and just in silence, without having to explain to anyone, just like get rid of stuff and then just, you know, go about my day. So they're just not videos that are very like convenient for me to film. But I recently have been going through my blushes because I have way too many. I have a lot of powder blushes, so I try to figure out which ones look very similar and then give those out to people because they're like barely used. There's some like Colourpop blushes that I used once because I did like a first impressions video, and it's a pink blush that looks just like any other pink blush. I have some cream blushes, and I have a lot of different shades of cream blushes. I have the Glowgasm from Charlotte Tilbury. I have 3 shades of the Glossier Cloud Paint. I have Beam Dust. No, I have like that brownie one, that like Barbie pink, and then that like corally orange. I have Petal Popping from Fenty. I have the Milk one I'm wearing today, which is like one of those stick ones. I'm sure I have some other ones. Oh, I have the Morphe 2 Mousse blush, the a blush stick from Colourpop. Like I feel like I have so many different formulas, variations, shades, formulas, stuff that I quite simply just do not need another cream blush. I don't use them enough to justify having as many as I have of powders, if that makes sense. So I'm just simply not going to get a cream blush. These are shades that I have in my collection that I could probably dupe right now for you guys. Also, illuminating highlighters. I told you guys I had this like obsession with buying illuminating / moisturizing hydrating primers, when in reality what I needed was a good skincare routine. And now that I have a good skincare routine, I just simply don't need hydrating primers. I have a drawer full of hydrating primers. Unless it's doing some kind of a special function, I'm not buying another primer. KVD is releasing this palette. It's apparently fully recyclable like packaging, which is really good. I love that KVD is doing this whole like really boring packaging, but packaging that you can fully recycle. It has no mirror in it, which is great. The shades are just not something I need at all, but I love this concept of recyclable packaging, and I love that this company is now focusing on that. And I think some other brands should definitely be going in that general direction, mainly if they release a bunch of makeup. I feel like at this point Colourpop should just stop putting mirrors into makeup and go back to their cardboard packaging instead of doing plastic. I do understand that their like acrylic look looks really fun and fresh and cool and hip, but if they just did cardboard packaging without the mirrors, you could literally just pop out the magnetic pans, because they're magnetic, they're not even stuck down, so you can just pop them out and then throw away and recycle the cardboard and keep the metal pans for your own single shadows, or if something crushes you could just keep them around if you want. I think that would have been much more fun and fresh considering how much makeup Colourpop actually releases. I just feel like they could definitely try to be a little bit more sustainable with their releases. Elf Acne Fighting Putty Primes. This apparently has a little bit of salicylic acid in it. I don't ever really understand putting skincare into makeup. I'm already doing skincare. That skincare is already penetrated makeup. The minute amount of skincare in my makeup is not going to solve any issues with my skin. So I feel like if you have acne, this putty primer is not going to solve it. You just need like an actual salicylic acid or like an actual exfoliator that has more than like 1%, you know, in the formulation. I never really understand it. I feel like they really use it as like a selling point, and then usually, I'm not saying Elf doesn't do this, but some brands will like up their prices because of skincare. I'm just like, no, just take the skincare out of it, make the makeup good, sell it to me for a lower price point, and I'll just spend money on like actual skincare that I need. Whereas like, I just never really understand skincare and makeup. That's it. We have this MAC collection. I think it's actually quite pretty. MAC's not cruelty free. I don't buy from them. I haven't bought from them in ages, probably since I was like 16. This palette's really cute. It looks a little bit like Colourpop, to be fair, but It's really cute. I think, I really like it. I wouldn't have bought it anyway, even if they were cruelty free, because I have these shades. I think the lipsticks look quite cute. I love the 2 pink shades on the left, but I have all those pink shades in my collection many times over. I recently got rid of like 30, if not 40 lip products, and they were all like repeats of each other. So what I did was I swatched a bunch of lip products on my arms, compared the ones that look similar, put them all into bunches, and then decided out of that bunch of the same shade, which formula / brand do I want to keep around. So recently I even got rid of stuff that I really enjoyed, like some drugstore makeup that I used maybe like once or twice and I just gave it away to people. But I kept, for example, if like I had a, I don't know, e.l.f. lipstick, a Milani lipstick, and a Pat McGrath lipstick that all looked the same, of course I'm going to keep the Pat McGrath because it's the most expensive. So I basically just did that. I just kept things that really made me happy, that brought joy to my life, that made my collection look really pretty, and it's usually like really nice packaging, stuff like that. So, and then I just gave the rest away to people. I was like, have fun. I barely used these things. Some of them were unused. So yeah, those 2 pink shades I have in my collection. I don't need them. Those 2 highlighters look cute. Once again, don't need them. I have those shades in my collection. That's my justification. Givenchy's releasing some really cute makeup. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So there's these blushes. I have these shades. That's all I'm gonna say. Valentino is coming out with makeup, and to be fair, this is actually a really well done like designer brand, if that makes sense. Like you have like Chanel, Dior, Louis Vuitton, they're all releasing makeup now, but they're not like luxury makeup brands, they're luxury brands that are now releasing makeup, if that makes sense. So they have these blushes. These are really tempting to me. They're powder blushes in this like really cute packaging. There's some lipsticks, there's some foundations, some lip liners. I think this is really cute. I want to see their pricing. I want to see if they're cruelty free, and then I'll think about them once I'm out of my no buy, just to see if I want something as like a little collector's piece for the packaging, like kind of how I keep like Pat McGrath, Charlotte Tilbury around. Natasha Denona. Is the formula so much better than, you know, mid-tier brands that I have to buy in Natasha Denona? Not necessarily, but I think the packaging and the whole experience of buying Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath is worth it for me personally. So I feel like that would be the same thing for this, unless they're not cruelty free, and then I just won't buy them. Huda Beauty is coming out with yet another like separate brand, as if it, why can't it all just be under Huda? This is Glowish, and they're coming out with like glowy products. Anyway, I have a lot of cream highlights type products, illuminating type products, and as you can see from this glow, this is just simply sweat, so I don't need this. Next, oh, this is tempting. This has tempted me. People said this was really good. I'm tempted, but I'm on a no buy for another like 2 weeks. Patrick Tar released this wonderful, amazing, super like basic soft glam palette, but it's so stunning, so beautiful. And there's these eyeliners to go with it in different variations of like brown, nudie, black, and gold. I just think this palette is stunning. I'll think about it. I feel like once I get to the end of my no buy, I'll probably forget about this palette and never think about it again. So maybe that's a good thing that I'm on a no buy, because this has tempted me. ABH Norvina. So do you guys remember this like suede Norvina palette that they released? I really enjoyed it. I actually hit pan on like 2 or 3 shades because I was using it as part of my project pan at the start of the year. And they're releasing one of the big pro Norvina palettes in that same shade selection. Now hear me out. It makes no sense to me because one, people that are fans of the brand probably already have the Norvina palette. So they're not going to buy this one because it's the same shades, but just a far less superior formula. 2, instead of dialing down, they dialed up, which just makes no sense in this day and age. I feel like most people are looking for smaller palettes to dial down their collection. Instead, they took a palette that had the right amount of shades and then just made it more. And also, I don't like this formula, so I'm going to skip on this. Actually, when I first saw this being announced, I thought it was a palette that was being restocked that they already released. But no, it's a brand new palette. So that speaks volumes on how much stuff they've released. Oh, this almost had me. And I was like, oh, no buy, not doing it. Jaclyn Hill released a collection of blushes in different formulas, finishes, shades. And I watched a video and I thought the formulas looked really impressive and really original. And I was really happy for her because finally we're getting like a really solid, creative, original collection. I feel like even her blush bronzer duos weren't really that creative. I feel like they were just like back stock that she already needed to release. And I feel like this is something that I expect from Jaclyn. I feel like this is very full on, like she's, you know, she does 100 or 0%. And I feel like this is 100% blushes. Like you'll find the formula that you really enjoy. She has loose powders, she has cream sticks, she has almost like these like stains for the lips to go with the blushes. That was really cute as well. She has this like blush palette. She has one cool toned, one warm toned. This is what I mean by, if you're going to make a palette of blushes, at least give me some kind of a reason to have 6 blushes in one palette. This is like his cool toned, his warm toned, and she said that they're pigmented enough where people of different skin tones can use the same palette. You can either dial it down, just like tap into it lightly, or you can apply it full opacity, and then it will work for multiple different skin tones. And you have like this beautiful like maroon shade. You know what? Once I'm out of my no buy, I might actually consider buying some of these blush products. Her sticks are so pigmented, so creamy looking. They were so yummy. I'm very excited for this collection actually. So once I'm out of my no buy, I will be buying some Rouge Romance things. So here's the Mario collection that he's releasing. It was teased, and then it's blush sticks, bronzer sticks, and then some powder products, blushes, highlights, bronzers. I don't need any of this. Any of this. I have blush, powders for life. I have highlighters that I really enjoy. I recently decluttered a lot, and I have probably the same amount of highlighters as I have blushes. It's really concerning. I have bronzers that I enjoy. I don't need any cream products. I have those. So that was very easy for me. Thank you. Patrick Ta's releasing brow products. Very simple. I feel like, I'm just wondering if, so sometimes YouTubers, when they do makeup, they release very like exciting collections, but never basics. And I feel like Patrick Ta is going down the basics route, which makes sense because I feel like that is more accessible. And if someone walks into Sephora, even if they don't know who Patrick Star is, they'll still buy his makeup potentially. So he's got that powder foundation, he's got a primer, he's got an eyeshadow palette, some liners, and now he's releasing brow products. I feel like maybe that makes sense for the regular consumer that would walk into Sephora. Okay, this... Do you guys remember when ABH recently released makeup wipes and I was like, what is this? Like, ABH would never be caught dead releasing makeup wipes, or at least making a big deal about it. They would probably just put it up on their website as like a throwaway product. They wouldn't like announce it to trend mood. They would just be like, here it is. You can buy them if you want. They announced ABH Norvina lip balms. I shall move on. Glossier is releasing another two shades of their Lid Star eyeshadows. I really enjoy them, but they're not products that I would necessarily buy more shades of. I think I have 2, and that's more than enough for me for like those everyday looks, but I don't need any more shades. These are very like goldy, coppery shades. I have more pink shades. So if you guys really enjoy this product, go ahead. Jaclyn Cosmetics is releasing a balm cream blushes. I'm assuming this is the same formula as her highlights that she released. I, once again, have a lot of cream products. I don't need this. And these shades I have, these remind me of my Glossier shades that I have, at least 2 of these. And then, you know, Petal Poppin' from Fenty looks like that pink one. I'm really just doing so well with my no buy. I'm realizing that I have so many things that at this point, if you were like, oh, do you want this? I'll be like, I already have it. Do you want this? Oh, I already have it. Sorry. Like, I can really go just not buy stuff. Except I really enjoy buying stuff. So that's the issue for me. It's not that I need stuff, I want stuff. Glamlight's releasing an eyeshadow base, which I think is more than reasonable for the kind of brand that they are. They release really pigmented, high quality eyeshadows. It would make sense that they would do an eyeshadow base, but I don't need an eyeshadow base. I just recently found out how long it takes to use up an eyeshadow primer, and I am never going to get through my eyeshadow primers. Tarte is re-releasing and reformulating the Amazonian Clay Foundation. It's a 16-hour full coverage foundation. They're doing the bamboo, they're doing the like brush again. The shade selection looks really good. They showed the lightest, the medium, and the deep shade. Looks great. I might actually try this once I'm done with my no buy, because I never got to try it the first time around, and everyone used to hype it up on YouTube. I remember watching like all these beauty gurus and they were like, oh my, this is the best foundation in the world, and I was like, oh my god. I was like 12, not wearing foundation quite clearly, so I'm happy to now be part of the group. So I might actually buy this when I'm done and see how it performs. We have the Melt Brunette palette, and I'm not buying any more Melt palettes. This is my announcement. Me and Melt are breaking up. Maybe temporarily. I just have been really disappointed with their inconsistencies in formula. I think their shade selections are always incredible. Like, they come out with the most like amazing, stunning like color selections for their eyeshadows. The theming is great. However, is it going to be weird to say like I'm kind of sick and tired of like the weed jokes? Like the weed. I think it was fun for like an actual like 420 release. Like if you're doing a launch for 420, then weed makes sense. But I feel like they used to do other stories as well, and now it just seems like every other launch is weed related. So at this point I'm just like, I'm not interested. Like I'm not interested in weed. So it's just like, to me it's just kind of like boring at this point. This one is not weed related, which is good. At least I don't think it is. So that's really nice. I like that they're switching it up again. This seems like a very nice basics nude bronzy palette that could become a staple for you if their formula wasn't so inconsistent. Recently I bought their Mary Jane palette, which was the taupey grey one, and I was so excited for it. I never get it up. It's okay, so I was going to get the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. That one was out of stock. I had the That's Taupe palette from Colourpop. Then the Mary Jane palette came out and I was like, oh, this might be just like the Natasha Denona palette, just a little more exciting, more deep. I bought it and the formula was awful. The mattes were great. A few of the shimmers were nice, but I think 3 of the shimmers were unusable pretty much. So I hated the palette. I'm not giving it away to anyone because the formula's bad. But also I already paid money for it, so I'm just going to keep it around. It was like £59. I got a discount on it, but the original price tag is like $59. I'm going to try and make it work on most days. I think the mattes are really nice. But I recently ended up getting the Glam palette from Natasha Denona, and it's just like night and day compared to the Melt palette. It's just like so disappointing for how much money these palettes cost for their formula to be so inconsistent. And I find, which palette was it? The Smoke Session palette. That formula is really inconsistent as well. I had one pan come kind of like undone, like it was like popped out. I press it back in, it already has hard pan. Another shade from that palette already has hard pan. The only palette I enjoy, truly thoroughly enjoy from the Melt line is the Gemini palette. That one is consistent, it's good, it's creamy, it's beautiful. But I'm just not risking it at this point. It's like I feel like I've just been duped so many times that I'm just like, what guarantee do I have that this palette's going to be the good formula until I watch videos on it? And at that point I'm just like not interested in buying it. I feel like I have this palette in formulas that I really enjoy and can trust, so I'm just not going to risk it with this one. This is me officially breaking up with Melt Cosmetics. I feel like we had a good run, but at this point I'm just like, I'm not going to waste money on things that I'm not sure about. Givenchy's coming out with these loose powder blushes, and if they're cruelty free, I would definitely consider buying one of these. I love that cool toned, super like 2000s pink in the like left top corner. That one is like calling my name. If they're cruelty free, I'll get this. If not, I won't get this after my no buy. So Morphe's releasing this watermelon palette and then like a bronzy palette. Don't need either of these. I don't like the Morphe formula. Moving on, I guess. Revolution and Bratz. Revolution actually reached out to me and said asked me if I wanted to get PR. I think I replied to them and then they sent me another email. I'm not sure if they got my email, so I'll try and figure out if they're sending this to me, because I think they wanted to send the Bratz collection to me, which is really nice. This seems really fun, kind of like nostalgic. But I'll see if they're sending it to me. If not, like I'm not buying it because obviously I'm on a no buy. Then we have the Be Perfect huge palette in collaboration with Vivienne, and it's just like pure rainbow and then a few face shades, white and black. I don't need this palette, it's huge. I hate huge palettes. I can't store them anywhere. They just annoy me a little bit, but I definitely don't need this. But I think it's just like a good cohesive palette for someone that doesn't have a lot of makeup. I feel like this could be great for them. And that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time I think of something to do. So hit that bell, let me know when that's happening. Social media links and the links in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.